Namaskar, I am Geetima and I welcome you all to my channel. Today in this episode, I am going to discuss with you the difficulties faced by children in studies and how to overcome those difficulties. So, children generally have difficulties in understanding, they face difficulty in memorizing, or they face difficulty in arranging the things and write them properly. Okay, broadly classifying these three types of difficulties we see among children. So there are some causes also for these difficulties. In some cases it may happen that lack of practice or revision was there for the child. Again, the child may have some associated health conditions like hearing impairment, visual impairment, intellectual disabilities, cerebral palsy, so many are there. Okay, so due to these health conditions also, the child may have difficulties in studies. Again, in case of home environment, what happens sometimes the home becomes overcrowded, okay, and the child has no proper place to study at home. Then also the child faces difficulty. Some problem behaviors may be present in the child, okay, like temper tantrums, lack of attention and concentration, okay, and some self-injurious behavior, okay, hyperactivity. All these type of behaviors, if present in the child, hampers the studies. Okay, so these are the causes. Again, some child may fail to adjust with the new environment or some changing environment. Then also that child faces difficulties. At the same time, in most cases, the child gets more interested, or we say addicted to TVs or mobile phones, etc. Then also study time gets lessened. Okay, so what can we do? We can make learning a fun, but how? One small example I am giving, like in case of in science books and all these type of books, so many activities are mentioned there, like we can do this one at home, we can experiment this one at home, like that. So all these kind of things if we do at home, okay, then what will happen? The child will do and learn, so that learning will be permanent. Again, doing these things will be a fun for the child, it will be a fun activity, so it will make the learning proper and permanent. Okay, again, we the parents and the teachers need to know that we should reinforce the child for every correct step done by him or her. Okay, we all know that if the child makes some mistake, we are always there to make it a point and make him correct it, explain it to him or her, like this is not correct, you need to do it this way. Okay, at the same time we should be concerned enough to reinforce the child, to encourage the child for whatever he or she does correctly. Okay, and in case of teaching, what we can do is we can start from something that the child knows and we can move to something that the child doesn't know. Then what will happen? The child will get encouragement on one hand, and at the other hand, since he will move from something known to that unknown, he will be able to learn and understand the higher concept easily. Okay, so these kind of things helps a lot. Again, in case of children with special needs, what we do generally, we do task analysis. Task analysis is breaking a task into some smaller steps. Okay, and what happens in one particular task, one particular activity, so many steps are there. Okay, and if the child does one step correctly at least, then also we encourage that particular child, and next day also we start from that particular step itself where the child did correctly the previous day. Then what will happen? The child will try more to do the next step also correctly, and we are always ready to encourage that child, okay, for every correct step done by that particular child. Okay, again, we need to accept the health condition of the child. Okay, that is very much important, because the child will perform according to his or her own condition. Okay, so what will happen if we keep some goal that the child will achieve 100 without considering the particular condition that the child is having or that the child is suffering from? Then what will happen? At the end, the child will not be able to achieve 100. He will be somewhere in 80s or 80 and will not feel good for that particular thing, and will say 2-3 things to the child also, and that will dishearten the child, that will discourage the child. Okay, and these negative things hamper the child a lot. That's why it's on our part that at first we need to accept all the conditions of the child, all the health conditions and peripheral conditions, all other conditions of the child, and considering all those things, we need to set a goal. It's not necessary that we disclose this goal to the child that you are having so and so and problem, so we know that you will not be able to achieve 100, so if you achieve 80 we will be happy. No need to say all these things to the child, but the thing is that we need to keep it in our mind, and we need to be happy with the child's performance and encourage that child for whatever he did up to that much. In case of home environment, I will say that one particular place, one particular corner need to be there for the child to study, to sit and study every day, that is regularly. It should be a regular thing. It should be a habit of the child to sit at that particular place for studies. Okay, it should not be like someday he will sit on the bed and study, someday he will do on floor, someday he will sit on the chair and table and study. It should not be like that. One particular corner for studies, one particular place should be there for the child, and one particular schedule of study should be there for the child. Okay, at the same time, good posture of sitting while studies is very much important. The schedule should not be too much rigid that the child will only read and read, only study and study and study and nothing else. It should not be like that. It will be like one study slot, one slot for studies, again another slot maybe for some hobby activities of the child, like singing, like playing, like writing or reading some story books, etc., so that the schedule becomes interesting for the child. And the parents need to be very much concerned and cautious about the home environment of the child. Okay, like that home environment need to be very much comfortable for the child, very much undisturbed for the child to study. Okay, that should be the concern of the parents. Again, if the child has some problem behavior, okay, for example temper tantrum or some other type of behaviors, then what we need to do? We can analyze that behavior. We can analyze the antecedent factor of that behavior, that is the situation where the child creates that behavior, where the child shows that behavior. Okay, then that particular behavior, what he or she does in that particular situation, again the consequence, that is what happens immediately after the behavior. Okay, by analyzing these things, we come to know that most of the cases we are able to, or we may be able to at least, control the antecedent factor, that is control the situation, control the environment. Okay, and if we are able to control that particular environment or situation, then occurrence of the problem behavior will be lessened, and that will help the child engage himself or herself in something constructive, some positive work. Now, in case of this COVID pandemic, the present day situation, most of the children fail to adjust to this environment, but it need to be a duty of the parents, of the guardian, to make the child feel easy with it, because whatever is going on, whatever we are doing, that is keeping ourselves confined in homes and all, confined inside our house, so this is all for our safety. So being a parent, being a guardian, we need to make the children feel easy. Okay, that is, this is normal now. Okay, again, use of mobile phones and other gadgets, TVs are there, laptops are there, but we can encourage the child not to use those things beyond the study hours, beyond the study time. Okay, that is, we can make them engage in some household activities, in some hobby works, hobby activities that they love to do. Okay, so if we try to divert them to doing something constructive, okay, then that will reduce their time in front of gadgets or with the gadgets. One family fun time need to be there. Now what is this family fun time? I just mentioned it as family fun time. It is like a common time for all the family members. Like for a particular time of the day, all the family members who are there inside that house may come together to do some particular work, some fun activities or some cooking or whatever, where all of them will get engaged. Then this will be something funny. It will be fun activities. Again, in case of more engagement of the children with TVs or mobile phones, we can say that example is better than precept. In most cases, we see that parents say that this is your study time, you go to study. But at the same time, parents will be sitting in front of the TV. They will be watching news, or they will be watching some serials or movies or etc. So many things. Okay, so what will happen? Will the child be attentive enough in studies? Will he or she be able to study properly with the TV running in the very next room or something, when he or she knows that my parents are watching TV and I am here for studies? Very few children are able to do this. Okay, so in this thing, what happens that if the parents also switch off the TV for that particular time, because that is the study time of that particular child, then it helps a lot. At the same time, if the class time of the child is for 4 hours, for example, and the work from home hour is 7 hours or 8 hours for the parents, then also it need to be clearly conveyed to the child that due to this work from home situation, the parents will be engaged with the mobile phone or with the laptop for so and so duration, for 8 hours or for 7 hours, whatever it is. But after that, the parents will spend some time with the child. Okay, and that this point that the parents will spend some time with the kids need to be a promise. It should be a promise to the child, and that promise should be kept by the parents. Okay, so in this way it happens that the child gets less addicted to the gadgets, and he or she understands why my parents are in front of the laptop, why my parents are busy with the mobile phone now, and he or she will be eagerly waiting for that particular time that he or she will spend with the parents. Now I am going to give you some tips, very simple things but very easy to follow. Okay, at school or about school time, class time, what we can do? We can do so many things. Like for the students I am telling, like attending the classes regularly is a must. Paying attention to what the teacher says. Participating in all class activities, that is very much important. Again, making note of all the important points of different subjects in different notebooks. That is separate notebooks for different subjects. That is what we generally do during our school time. Okay, but now also we need to do same way. Okay, again, asking every doubt to the teacher is very much important. Okay, now I would like to tell one thing here, like if one student asks some doubts from the teacher, then it is not necessary always that the teacher will answer. If the teacher knows that some other student understands this particular point, the teacher can ask that particular student also that you explain this point if possible. If the child explains, what will happen? That child gets the similar thing revised once more. That will be helpful for that particular child. One point. Number two, if that particular child also has some doubt regarding this, the teacher comes to know that point and the teacher is able to correct that thing again. Again, at home, what we can do for studies, making the studies easy. What we can do is, we can keep a schedule of study. That is very much important, I told already. Again, right posture of sitting at one proper place of study. Use of dictionary is very much important. Like, if our books are written in English, we need to have a English dictionary. If we have some other language like Hindi or some other language as our mother tongue or something, whatever we learn, whatever we study as course, then we need to keep a dictionary of that particular language also. It helps immensely. Like, if the student doesn't know the meaning of one particular word, he or she will immediately search for that meaning in the dictionary and use a pencil and write that particular meaning on the book itself near that particular word. Okay, what will happen then? The very next day or second time, whenever the child reads that particular topic, then he or she will understand better. Okay, and no need to ask for or look for that meaning again and again. That's why writing on the book sometimes helps a lot, mainly in cases of meanings and all. Again, completion of homework or assignment on time is a must. In our schedule of studies, as I told earlier, time for hobby activities or fun activities should be there. Okay, because that makes learning interesting also. Okay, again, multitasking is not appreciated in case of studies. Like, many a times we hear that one particular child, for example, he or she, while studying, he or she listens to music. Okay, but practically that is not that much effective, because whatever attention we need to pay to our studies gets diverted. One part will go to the music that we are listening, the other part will come to the studies that we are doing. Okay, and at the same time, whole attention is much better than partial attention. So multitasking is not appreciated in case of studies. Means doing something else along with studies. Healthy eating habits should be there. Nice rest and sound sleep, very much important for children to memorize things, to enhance our memory power. Okay, and in all these things, guidance and support of the parents is a must. Again, another point regarding studies is that we need to make a survey of the content of a particular chapter. What happens then? Surveying means reading to that particular chapter thoroughly. Then what will happen? Something we will understand, something we will not understand. But whatever we will not understand, we will make a list of it and we will be able to ask or clarify those doubts from our teacher, from our friends at the next moment or the very next day. At the same time, taking note of whatever we have learned is very much important. Okay, taking note helps a lot. Okay, one done list should be there. Done list is like these are my assigned tasks, but out of this I have completed this one, I have completed this one. So those things will come in my done list, that is I have completed doing these things. At the same time, one to-do list will be there. To-do list means what I need to do, what I have to do again, what are the pending works what I have to do, what are my assigned works, but I am yet to complete it. Those things will come in my to-do list. Okay, and if possible, what we can do is we can write all these to-do things in small pieces of papers and stick it in front of our study table so that we can see it properly while sitting for studies. Then what will happen? There is no chance at all that we skip something important. Okay, that helps a lot. Again, if the very moment we finish some particular work from that to-do list, we can cut that. And if we finish doing all the activities mentioned in the to-do list, we can take out the or remove that particular piece of paper. That is the to-do list, we can remove it. Again, some other to-do list will be there for studies. Again, we will complete all these things. These things encourages us also. Like, yes, I did this, I have completed this. If some particular test or exam is over already and the child makes some mistakes, rather than sitting sadly, the child need to analyze that things, like, why was it a mistake by me? Why did I do this? And obviously reason will come out that I failed to understand properly, or I had less revision, I didn't revise properly. When the reason we come to know, it's very easy for us to solve that problem also, solve that difficulty also. Again, there are another tip is there that is called 5R. What are these 5 R's? 5 R's is read, recite, recall, revise and retain. These are called 5 R's. Now, reading, reciting, recalling and revising. These things are like reading the same thing 4 times. Read, recite, recall, revise 4 times. First time we will just read, it will be superficial reading or like that. Next time it will be something deep reading or reading between the lines that we will try to understand it. Okay. Then we will recall, that is, we will think that what we have learned, what we have read. Okay, that way we will be able to know how much we understood and how much we didn't understand. And at the same time, whatever we didn't understand, again we can approach our teacher, approach our friends to know it, okay, to get it clarified. And after doing all these things and after doing the revision, it is very easy for us to retain, that is, it is very easy for us to remember that particular thing. Okay, therefore this is called the 5R. 5R helps immensely. During this pandemic situation, we need to have some food for our mind also. So what can be those foods? Like once or twice a week, we may fix one particular time, like half an hour, 40 minutes, like that, to make video call and talk to our family members who are not present in our houses now, means living in some far places or something, or our friends. Okay, and talk to them. Then what will happen? We feel energized, we feel refreshed. Again, we need to give time to our hobbies like reading, writing, drawing, painting, okay, dancing, singing, gardening, means activities that we can do by staying at our home only, okay, without going outside. Those activities need to be encouraged. Helping parents in household activities, that I already mentioned, that's also another important point. I already mentioned this thing, that activities mentioned in books, like this activity can be done at home, so and so, this one, and all these type of activities we can do, we can experiment at home during this pandemic situation, and we can enjoy. And another point is that we need not watch too much of TV, that is too much of news this time, because whatever is being shown in the news channels, is very much true, but the thing is that at the same time all those news are very much discouraging or disheartening or negative to impact our mind, because COVID situation is something frightening, we all know. But at the same time, what we can do is only to stay safe and make our families safe. Nothing else we can do. If nothing else we can do, what's the use of burdening our mind, thinking so much about all these news that so many people died and all these things. These news are only disheartening lots. So we need to stay a little bit aloof from this news. No doubt we need to have that information, but for that we know we don't have to sit in front of the TVs for hours. Only getting the news is enough. So stay home and stay safe. This is all for today. Hope to meet you soon with some other topics. Thank you.